horseshoe was hooked on the tine down there, and there's another one in the cab, so that means Dad got two of them out at Barley. Good morning everyone, welcome back to the farm. Just had a couple of quick jobs that I wanted to do on the tractor there this morning. Going to get the sprayer filled up. The wind is supposed to pick up mid-morning, so I got a spray job to get out and do, and my last paddock for the year is going to go in, so let's get to it. Now make sure you fold it all the way, you silly boy. Okay folks, so we're done in here. It is Wednesday the 18th of June for your reference. So it is certainly starting to get along in the season. Yeah, like I said, this is my last paddock to go in for the year. All the rest of my crop was in before we had all the rain. So like around the 6th or 7th of June, I think was when we had most of our season breaking rain. Around that period, it was all in before then anyway. That's what I'm trying to say. So most of it is poking its head out the ground and starting to move along, which is lovely to see. But I think probably my only thing that I would change from seeding, apart from smashing the sprayer, was I would have seeded that paddock there with barley when I did my other paddock of barley. I've only got 2 paddocks of barley this year. Reason being ryegrass pressure. Too much ryegrass pressure. I'm trying to get on top of it, double, triple breaking paddocks, and barley is really a bit of a weak link in the program. So you want to grow good ryegrass, you'll do it with the barley, but that paddock I seeded up there, that is up out of the ground. She's 2 leaf already. I didn't seed this one at the time because it was a bit dry. Didn't know when the season break was coming, didn't know how much we were going to get. So, and ryegrass pressure up the top of that paddock as well. So I thought if we got a decent break at a decent time, maybe I'd be able to spray it out. But as it stands at the moment, yeah, I'd be waiting another probably week and a half to kill what's there properly. It needs to be at least the 2 leaf stage to take in glyphosate. When it's just the single shoot coming up out the ground, its sort of growth point is from below the dirt, and so it doesn't really absorb what you're putting on it. But anyway, I did do a bit of a burn down with some paraquat. That'll do a rubbish job, but yeah, look, it is what it is. We're so far away from producing a crop at the moment, just with, you know, the lack of moisture that we've had, subsoil moisture, all that, you guys know, I've talked about it plenty. So, you know, we're definitely not going to grow anything unless it's in the dirt, so the best place we'll get it in the dirt. We've got a couple of tools up our sleeve that we can possibly use later on the ryegrass if we want to. So yeah, we'll just get it in the ground for now and get done, and that'll be lovely. I'll be finished today, thank goodness. We are off, let's do it. That is just a beautiful sight. Seeding into nice moisture, wow. Oh, lovely. A beautiful 38 hectares to do out here, a nice big square. This could just about be one of my last runs in the tractor for the year. Dad will probably seed a fair bit of his, of what's left anyway. We're all of 2.1 hectares in and I've already got a breakdown, so Dad actually rang. I said I was about to ring you and see if you could come out in my ute because we've got a broken bolt on the frame back here, so I should have one there, I would have thought. Anyway, we'll try and change that. If not, we'll send him off maybe to grab one. And yeah, I've done a few seed checks, like depth checks and whatever. This is my first time seeding with this much moisture since maybe last year at the end, but no, well, there wouldn't have been that much moisture last year. That's a lie. But anyway, it's super nice, man. It feels good. She just pulls through like butter, and yeah, laying it into some nice moisture, and she'll swell up and start germinating pretty quickly. a quick breakdown repair and a lunch delivery. Not bad. Now, I had someone ask me if I could go over some of the costs of actually putting a crop in the ground. And well, we're sitting in the tractor with not too much else to do, so I thought while we're sitting here, maybe we'll talk about some of the costs involved in putting this barley crop in. Now, this is a very cheap crop to grow, barley, and we are doing it pretty damn cheap this year, so maybe we'll have to compare it to something a little bit more pricey afterwards, or even just wheat, for example. But let's start off with what we did this morning. We came out, dual gold, Treflin, paraquat, let's call it $25 a hectare. Put some pre-emerge out, a pass with the sprayer. I'm just going to use easy numbers too, so we'll just call that 20 for the sprayer, so we're at 45. Now we're out seeding it now. I'm just going to use what I did my contracting for this year, which was $65 a hectare. So that takes us to $110 a hectare. Seed, we'll call that $30 a hectare, so we're at 140. And then fertilizer. Now we are going at a 50% rate of fertilizer this year, just because we put down a full rate last year and we grew absolutely rubbish crops. There wasn't a lot there, they wouldn't have used a whole lot, and you know, like our phosphorus levels are fine. I'd have to dig up actually the soil sample from the paddock below, but so we're just putting out about 50 kilos of fertilizer, and we'll say it's about $1,000 a tonne, so we'll just call it $50 a hectare for fert, so we are at $190. And I think that would pretty well cover getting the crop in the ground. Now, if it was a normal year, or we had to come in and do a knockdown and kill a heap of weeds beforehand because we'd had a good break, there's more cost there. You'd double our fertilizer bill. And then, of course, this year we're still going to have to come back. If it's a half reasonable year and it looks like we're going to grow a half reasonable crop, we're going to have to come back and top dress it. We're going to have to feed it more. So we'd probably come back with up to 100 kilos of urea this year. Looks like that cost would probably be $80 to $90 a hectare in the fert, and then we'd have to spread it. Just call that $100. Call that $100 a hectare, so 290. Maybe a fungicide, maybe definitely a something to knock out the broadleaf weeds. So we'd have to do that. Just call that $15. So you'd be looking. If it looks like we're going to yield about average, we'd be about $300 a hectare into growing it. Then we've still got to come in and harvest it, freight it, and all that sort of stuff. So your first tonne to the hectare is gone roughly in just the production of the crop. Then you'd have to add on harvest cost, freight, like I said, and so on and so forth. But yeah, hopefully that makes some sense. So I might just add to that a little bit further. Now, I said we were doing it pretty cheap this year, and we are, so our fertilizer's back, but we could have also gone more aggressive on the pre-emergence. So we could have gone to something like Boxer Gold. That would have doubled the cost of the herbicides that I put out this morning, and the herbicide I put out is already half Boxer Gold anyway, so we could do something like that. That'd be $25 a hectare for that. Or you could go even more aggressive and you could do something like Overwatch, and that would be like $40 a hectare. So you could add to that if you had more weed problems, or it was a normal sort of year. You'd be putting a lot more fertilizer down and stuff like that. So we really are trying to do it at a budget cost this year, because we just don't know what we're going to get. I'm back again because I had some more thoughts on that. I didn't calculate the application of the broadleaf weed chemical over the top of the crop. There'd be another $20 there. Haven't even mentioned crop insurance or council rates, and if you're leasing country, say you're leasing it for $100 an acre, so about $250 a hectare. If you were doing that, you'd have to be about 2 tonne to the hectare in before you'd be profitable, and that's not including harvesting it or carting it away as well. So if I've missed anything, let me know. I'm just a knucklehead with a camera on a tractor, so I'm sure I've missed something. I am well and truly due for a seed check. Look at that beautiful mud, isn't that nice to see? This wheat's been a bit slow getting out of the ground. Geez, it's not very deep. It has crusted over hard this year because of the heaviness of the rain that has fallen. You can see it sticking its little head up. Should be hopefully poking through soon. So I thought for a bit of a contrast we would do canola, something that's very expensive to grow compared to something that's very cheap. Now I have got a cheat sheet on the phone here because there is a lot to remember, too much for my small brain. So if we kick it off, the seed, 150 bucks. I'm just gonna list all the things and the price will get to the end with the tally, alright? Seed 150, fert 50, pre-emergent plus the sprayer and insecticide 70 bucks, seeding 65, snail bait 20, grass free, the first grass free with the sprayer 50 bucks, 100 kilos of urea, which you might need more depending on the year, but we'll say 100 bucks including the spreader. Second grass free 30 bucks including the sprayer. Bug spray $25, so we are at 560 bucks to grow the crop. Now that's not including council rates, crop insurance, harvest or freight, plus you could probably put 40 bucks a hectare on top of that for gypsum. I usually put gypsum down in front of the canola just as a sulfur source for the crop, so I don't know, call that 40 bucks, so really about $600. So that's your, depends on the price of canola, but it could be down around 600, 650 bucks a tonne if that's the way the market is. So it's not down like that at the moment, but yeah, your first tonne is out the door. That's not including it if you're leasing the country or any of that stuff as well. There you go, that's a very big contrast to growing barley. Or windrowing the canola, that's another one I left off there. That'd be 60 bucks a hectare there, I reckon. That's if it's a variety that needs to be windrowed. Some of them you don't need to, some of them you do, but interesting to note. Final seed check. We've only got a few runs left and then we'll be on the headlands. Done. Finished. Well, I am. It's beautiful. Not all done, but I'm all done. So that's cause for celebration. The pub for tea it is. Feels a bit spongy, doesn't it? Might have to try and put some air in that one. I'll just wheel this rig around to the back of the shed there and we'll put some air in that tyre. Yesterday I did actually go around and pick up the other trailer, the B trailer, because the trailer we've got's got a little bit of fert in it. We've still got a bit of seeding to do and it actually cannot legally pick up the load that I need to go and pick up. So we're actually about to go to Balaclava, Vitera at Balaclava, to pick up some barley. We're all out of barley. Dad's still got 400 or 450 lambs in the feedlot to finish off, so we need some feed to do that. So we'll go pick up this load of barley for him and that should get him through. Probably had gypsum in her last. I should maybe sweep this out quickly. What lesson did we learn a while ago, folks? Don't do half a job. Do the whole thing. It's got all of about 10 psi in it, nice. Fill out our logbook and get on the road. So we are actually here. I have no idea, I don't know my way around this site, so it's been a bit confusing, but I think I'm sorted out now. We're going to go weigh and then get loaded. Just like that, we're done. I reckon it took him about 5 or 6 loads with the loader. Unreal. They just got to probe it and take a quick sample before we get out of here. I guess make sure the quality and everything's still good and there's nothing wrong with it, and that they're selling you what they're telling you that they're selling you. We're free. Let's go. Back the other way. Just stopped and grabbed myself some lunch and a bit of caffeine, and we'll make the rest of the journey home, I think. Absolutely wild seeing some of the crops down here, how far along they are already. It's not widespread, but there is certainly some crops that are up and about like that, and I've even seen some guys out spreading urea today. We are expecting, yeah, some more rain in a few days' time, so not a heap. I don't think we'll get a lot, maybe 5 to 10 mil, but it'll be fantastic. We've been off to a fairly decent start, at least around seasonal, which is great. I timed that well. Dad was just over here cleaning up and setting up, and so just reverse up and start unloading. Well, that was an interesting little drive to go on today. It was interesting to see how different parts of the countryside are moving along and where everyone's at. And yeah, there's still a few tractors going out there and a little bit of country to be seeded. Not a whole lot, but a little bit nonetheless. And unfortunately, that is just the season this year. We're in the same boat. So we'll get there soon enough though. I am just going to go drop this trailer back and pick up the other one, and then I'm going to call it a day. So I'll call this a video. Thank you very much to everyone for watching. We really do appreciate it. And thank you very much to Market Check for sponsoring the videos. We really appreciate that. And if you want any help with your grain marketing, I'll link all of their details down below as always. You can go and check those out. And that's all I've got for you. If you want to support the channel, you know what to do. If not, all good. You guys have yourselves a good one. Till next time, see ya.